Yo, what up, everybody? This is Eric with Mind Melt Podcast, and today is Thursday, October 18th, and I'm recording solo, so it's a Solocast. Kandra's out of town, and I have just a lot on my mind, I want to first off say sorry it's been so long. It's been like 2 weeks, and it's just been crazy. I mean, my life is very, very busy, unfortunately. I wish I could dedicate all of my time to podcasting, but that's just not where I'm at right now. But I am dedicating most of it. Well, not most of it. I am dedicating as much as I can. But there's some cool news. We have some really exciting guests coming on this weekend. We've got our homegirl, Courtney Miller from Boise. She's really badass. And then at the beginning of November, we actually have Whitney Miller, which is really cool. That's the queen of On It, and she's the Pride Fighting Championship host, and she was like Miss America or Miss United States or something a couple years ago. She's also a professional surfer and wakeboarder, I think, but I'm not going to go on too much about what she is because I'm sure she'll tell us. So that's really cool. I also talked with someone that rhymes with Schmorant Schmaus, and he's a particle physicist, and he is allegedly going to be coming on in November. So that's really fucking cool because I just don't want to say his name just in case we don't lock it down. But for those of you science freaks out there, you can, figure it out. And he is an idol of mine. He's like a atheist champion. I just think he's really cool. I certainly hope to get him on. And I think that, unfortunately, he's had some bad press lately. I don't know the circumstances of that. I don't, begrudge him of that. I just want to talk to him about science. So, we've also got a friend named Chavo Phoenix, who is me and Kandra's he was really like a mentor in the beginning of our relationship. He's a relationship advisor / counselor / coach / awesome fucking dude. And he is going to come and hang out with us in person, and we're going to record with him. I'm also going to try to Skype in between now and then and see if I can get him on Skype just to kind of do like a preliminary thing where we can kind of warm it up a little bit so that you guys know what to expect when we have him on for real. He is fucking amazing. He's just, the shining example of what I hope to be when I am his age. He's, I think he's 60 or 61, and he looks like he's fucking 20, and he acts like he's 20. He's so alive. I mean, he is just a really awesome person. I'm so excited to have him on. That's who we have listed so far. I'm sure that we're going to have some more guests come up. I've been emailing tons of people that I'm fans of or that I've wanted to talk to. Some people I'm actually not a fan of. I just think that'd be a fun discussion. So I'll keep you posted. And then just some, I guess business. We don't ask for any money on the podcast. We don't do any advertising on the podcast. But if you feel like this is some sort of value to you and you want to contribute in some way, please go to Justin Wren's Fight for the Forgotten, fightfortheforgotten.org, and just donate some money. Right now they're doing a big donation run. I think they're trying to get like $50,000 before Christmas. I know it's obtainable, and just go over there, set it up, automatic withdrawals. It can, $25 a month. You spend more than that on a coffee per month. So just head over there, get some merch from him. He's got some great shirts. That's a good way to spread the word for what Fight for the Forgotten is. And if you're not aware of what Fight for the Forgotten is, basically it's just a really awesome organization that does wells in the Congo for the pygmy, and they don't, it's a very small organization. They're not running hundreds of thousands of dollars through it and then pocketing 80% of it. It's just a really legit nonprofit. So, now that that's over with, let's get on with the podcast. Normally I do introductions like this and I'll record them after the podcast. But I figured since it's just me today, there's no reason to do that. So, today I just wanted to kind of talk about some stuff that's on my mind. I was talking to a friend of mine on Instagram today, and, it seemed like they were just going through maybe like, I mean, I'm not one to speculate, but maybe they just were overwhelming themselves with friends. I used to do that a lot, especially when I first got in the music scene. It was like I was searching for something exterior to find happiness in, and I was always surrounding myself with people. And when you do that, you tend to surround yourself with people that are also searching for external happiness rather than looking internally for happiness. And so it's a very artificial kind of friendship. I don't know for sure if that's what was going on. It just seems like, sorry if I'm breathing loud. I just got done at the gym. But so it just seemed like maybe that's what it was. But without too much speculation, we just kind of started talking. I was just, saying, basically, you got to fill your cup up first, right? I mean, before you can let anybody drink out of your well, you got to make sure that you're taken care of, that you're satiated, that you're hydrated. And it was like, it's really, it's cool to give advice to people if they want to hear it. But I mean, who the fuck am I to give advice? Like, if you have listened to this podcast, my crazy ass history. Like I think the only reason I feel like I can give advice is because I've probably made every mistake out there, and whichever ones haven't been made yet, I'm sure I will in the future. But that being said, it's like the biggest lesson I've learned from my personal mistakes is that self-dedication and self-empowerment and self-health and self-help is going to be the best thing to make every other part of your life great. Every other relationship great, everything great. It's like, basically, if you take care of yourself, then the people around you are going to be like, holy shit, they're healthy, they're happy. What are they doing that's making them so happy? Oh, they're working out 5 times a week or 10 times a week, They're fucking eating right. They're enjoying the moment, They're not so focused on the next moment or the last moment. They're focused in the present moment. And then maybe those people will see that as some sort of a sign that they should try that themselves. But the only way to like really, spread happiness and all of that is really if people can focus on themselves. So just be that example. I mean, and if you can't be that example, then you're not going to be able to have a genuine connection with someone, because you don't have a genuine connection with yourself. So that was just something that I was kind of talking with them about. And then they had said something to me about just, the elite in the country, and how, we're kind of like enslaved to the elite. And so I used to think that we were enslaved to the elite. I used to think that, this was like just another form of slavery, taxation. We're kind of like hamster on the wheel, just always, working really hard and getting nowhere. But it's like, you can be enslaved, or you can choose to be, not enslaved. And my personal opinion of what real enslavement is not living. And the only way to truly be alive is to be in the present moment. Because if you're thinking about the future, or if you're dwelling on the past, I mean, you're not really there. and the past and the future doesn't exist. So therefore, you're not existing. You're dead. And if you're dead, you're going to live your life through this like total fucking haze of like, you know, blurred emotion and blurred feeling, and you're never going to really be here. So if you can focus on just being happy with wherever you're at, if you're a fucking gas station attendant and you're priming the pumps for the next guy, if you can really be there in that moment, fuck the taxes, fuck your minimum wage, fuck all that shit. Just be there. When the next customer comes in, you smile and you genuinely want to know how their day is. Not just because it's the 4,000th time and you're conditioned to say, how's your day going? So if you can really be in that present moment, you are not enslaved. It's just, you're not. You know, it doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're in prison, in actual prison, you know, you can choose to be in the prison of the mind, or you can choose to just be there and get the most out of the circumstance that you're in. You know, that means teach people things, hang out with people, learn things. Everybody has something to teach you. I mean, even the worst, most sadistic fuck out there can teach you something. And so, you know, when she said this to me about the elite being the, you know, our slave owners, basically, I just thought to myself, you know, that's one way to look at it. Yes, they are, you know, rich. Yes, they are powerful, quote unquote. But are they really here? Are they really in the moment? Are they really experiencing their life? Is all of that money and wealth that they have accrued giving them what they really want? Do you think Henry Kissinger sits and dwells on how beautiful the present moment is? I mean, no, he doesn't. He doesn't give a fuck. He is only concerned about the future, and he's only concerned with obtaining things. And that's because he can never fully be satiated. I mean, if you're only trying to accrue things and only trying to accrue power, you're never going to get it. You're never going to, because true power is fulfillment, and true fulfillment comes when you fulfill yourself. I mean, it's not like money and power isn't the problem. It's the people that get it can be the problem. And I don't know, the way I look at it is, it's like, I don't think that, you know, okay, so let's say that there's 100,000 elites out there or something, you know, or let's say there's fucking 100, just to bring the numbers down a little bit. There's 100 elites out there, right? And these are the top fucking 1% of the top 1%, right? These are the like Rothschilds of the world. Do you think that they are all sadistic and they all are power hungry and money hungry and they just are doing this to control people? Or is it possible that they are just as fucking stupid as the average person in Walmart? You know, that was kind of rude. I'm not trying to say that the average person is stupid, but the average person is unaware and they're not living in the present moment. They're not trying to help others. They're not trying to help themselves. Okay, so when you go to Walmart and you go up to, I mean, if you go to everybody in Walmart, how many people would you say are like quote unquote enlightened? And how many people do you think are genuinely trying to just better themselves constantly and better the people around them? I'm going to say it's a pretty slim number, you know, and the same goes for the elite. It's just the same people that just happen to have had success in their life from one thing or another. You know, when I look at those people and they're, you know, like in charge of things like BP and they're causing some sort of, you know, destruction or whatever. And then you look at it and it's like, okay, these people are the ones that are creating all this, like, you know, war, or they're creating all these negative things. Well, guess what? The people at the lower end of the level are just as much of a contribution to that, okay? Because they're supporting the corporations. They're, you know what I mean? Like they're not recycling. They're not doing their part. They're, contributing to factory farming. They're doing all of this stuff. It's just they don't have the money and they don't have the quote unquote power. And so the people that do have the quote unquote money and the quote unquote power are seen as these like overlords. And it's only because in our culture, we see money as being power. And that's just not really true. I mean, when you really stop and think about it and you idolize these people, or, you might not idolize, you might hate them because they're wealthy and they have power. Or maybe you do idolize them. I don't know. But when you look at them and you say like, these people are, they have all this money and all these things, like they probably look at you and they say, oh my God, they have like a real connection and they're not always worried about people fucking them over. They can like truly be in the moment. I mean, most of the millionaires that I've met in my life just say, man, the best times in my life were the ones that I was struggling. It was like when I was living in that shitty trailer when we were eating, box mac and cheese. And that's the truth. I'm not joking about that, because the struggle is what brings you power. I mean, like you learn and you grow and you can enhance yourself. And without that struggle, when everything's easy, God, it's just flatlined, And that's just not, you're not really living. And so then you're trying to, you everything's easy. So you're trying to enhance your life and like have these dopamine kicks from other things. So you buy a fucking car, you buy a Ferrari, or you buy a boat. And then that does it for like a couple weeks. And then you buy a bigger house, and that does it for a little bit. And then you buy the new fucking Louis Vuitton wallet, and that does it for, but it's like scratching an itch. It's like when you get poison ivy and you scratch it, it feels good for a second, but you're only making it worse. And that is exactly what these people at the top do. For the most part, there's obviously exceptions. And that is why you shouldn't fear money and power. You should love money and power. You should aim for money and power, and you should get it. And then you can do the things that you need to do to make the world better. It's an unfortunate reality that this culture, this society, for the most part, idolizes money. I mean, that is something that most people want to obtain, even the fucking hippies. I mean, it's like, I've seen it happen where, people act like they don't care about money. They don't care about money until they get it. And then once they get it, they change, And so you have to be humble. You have to know that with power comes responsibility. And you have to be prepared to be that responsibility with it. And if you can do that, and then you can achieve wealth and you can accrue things for yourself, then you can bring up the people around you and you can use that money and wealth for good things. I mean, look at someone like Aubrey Marcus. The dude owns On It. Everything that he does is what I would want to do with my life if I was in his situation. And hopefully one day I will be. And it doesn't scare me that I want money. It doesn't scare me that I want quote unquote power. It's just because I know in my heart that with that, I can live the best life. I mean, you can choose to live the best life. That's not to say that that's the only way to live the best life. You can live the best life without it. And this is something that people like Osho have always talked about. I mean, Osho gets so much flack because, I mean, for one, his fucking crew of people were crazy, but he wasn't crazy. He had a really good message. And if you listen to what he's saying, it's, I like the luxurious things in life, but I don't need the luxurious things in life. there's nothing wrong with having luxury. There's nothing wrong with having nice things. Stop fucking thinking that that's a negative, you know? Should it be what you're trying to gain happiness from? Fuck no. And you're never going to get happiness from it. But once you do work on yourself and you're healthy and you're happy and you're fulfilling your real needs, your personal needs, you stay hydrated, you know, the basics, then when you have luxurious things, it's just like the cherry on the top, you know? But you know in your heart, if you're authentic and you're real about it, that the happiness comes from within. And you only can find that out when you get all the shit and then you learn the hard way, you know? But I mean, I don't know. It just makes me feel like maybe the reason why people struggle with the quote unquote elite is just because through our biology, we've always needed like a father figure. You know, we've always needed daddy. We've always needed someone that's in charge, you know, the fucking tribal leader, you know, the king, whatever you want to call it, the pope, whatever it is. You know, we want answers for everything. Humans are, you know, biologically searching for answers all the time. We want to know it. The idea of saying I don't know scares the shit out of everybody, which is why religion is such a popular thing, because people can't just say I don't know. You know, is there God? I don't know. Like, so it's the same thing with the elite. It's like when you look around the world and you see starvation and you see basically the news, the wars and all these things, when you're like, why is this going on? It's so much easier to say that there's this secret cabal of people that are behind it all. And I'm not saying that there aren't people that influence these things. There absolutely are. But it's not a grandiose plan. It's a lot of moving parts and a lot of opportunity to unfortunately gain, you know, these fake monetary gains for the betterment of yourself against the betterment of the other people. I mean, and that's just what it is. It's not like occultish, I don't think. I mean, I could be wrong. It could be occultish. It could be everything Alex Jones preaches about, but I just don't think it is. I think that when you look at yourself and when you look at the things that, dude, I have done fucked up shit, okay? And I'm a pretty good person in my eyes anyways, and in most of the people around me's eyes. It's like I would consider myself to be a good moral person, but I have fucked over people that are close to me. Like, seriously fucked over people that are close to me for my own gain. And it's disgusting what I've done. And I despise it, but I did it. And it's the same thing. Like, sometimes you make bad decisions and you do it for selfish reasons, but it's not like, sometimes it's not even planned or controlled. You know, sometimes it's just like yes or no, yes. And you just say yes, you know, you just do it. And it's not, you don't know how you got there. All of a sudden, you know, you're responsible for all these fucked up things. And you're just like, holy shit, how did I get to the bottom of this barrel, you know? So just, I just think that unfortunately with modern day media and social media, it's really easy to allow the negativity to overwhelm us. And the reason for that is because if it bleeds, it leads. I mean, once again, our biology, you know, we always are trying to figure out ways to live. And the best way to know how to live is to know how not to die. And so we crave to know what can kill us and what dangers are out there. And we crave that like a shark with blood. So when you hear about, you know, Iraq bombings and it just fucking, it's like, you know, your wolf smelling weakness, you're like, oh, I need to hear more about that. And so you start to listen and then you start to get this idea of all this crazy shit that's going on in the world. But when you really look at it, it's not that bad, especially if you're listening to this from the wonderful United States of America. The best place to live is in the United States of America because we fuck everybody else. And unfortunately, this is the safest place. So if you're listening from the United States and you think that you're being poisoned or whatever, like, you really need to just stop being so egoic and look at other countries. I mean, there are countries that are suffering in massive amounts. I mean, Africa has been fucked since the beginning. They're always being fucked. And by thinking that there's some sort of evil cabal out there that's trying to do population control with fucking airplanes and chemtrails and shit like that, you're missing it, dude. In my opinion. I mean, I could be fucking wrong. Who knows? There could be crazy, owl worshipping satanic cults out there that are, drinking the blood of fucking 6-year-olds and having major orgies in the middle of the woods of California. I don't know. But my senses tell me that if you focus on that shit, you're really missing out on life. And I did it for a long time. I went to Bohemian Grove because I was so obsessed with it. I mean, it is attractive. Conspiracies are a great way to have that itch scratched, that fucking poison ivy, of it's somebody else's fault. The reason I'm not successful is someone else's fault. But that's just not the case. I mean, unfortunately, we are born into different class systems. Unfortunately, it's hard in this day and age to make yourself, gain wealth. But all you have to do is just keep working and realize that we have it really good. I mean, if you are impoverished in the United States, you live better than 90% of the world. All right. And if you have a roof over your head, you live better than most people did for most of the time. I mean, it's just, most of our life was spent living under trees, fighting off predators. And so let's just hit the brakes a little and let's really focus on what we can do in our immediate day-to-day life to make it better. Drink water. That is number one, because most people do not drink enough water. So get up in the morning, drink some fucking water, like start your day off hydrated, right? Eat well. Stop eating fast food, eat some healthy shit, go to the gym, put the fucking work in. Because if you put the work in, you're not even going to have time to think about all that other shit. That's another thing I think is funny about conspiracy theorists. Some of the craziest conspiracy theorists I know, they don't have jobs. They have time to just fucking research this shit, It's like, just like, go do something difficult. Learn a new hobby. Like, the other day I went and did kickboxing. I've never done that before. Just try something different. Challenge yourself. Go on a fucking 20-mile hike. Put some food in a backpack and just walk and get lost in the fucking woods. Do something hard. Sweat. And as soon as you start to do that, you're going to realize that all of these other things will start falling away like the petals of a flower, and you're making room for real growth. And I think that, and this is just, I mean, dude, do whatever the fuck you want. I'm not trying to preach. I'm just telling you, like, this is what works for me. I've struggled with meth addiction. I've struggled with, drug dealing addiction. I've dealt with, like every fucked up thing that you can imagine. Health problems, mental health problems, just so many things. And all of it has been cured by just really turning inwards and just starting my day off the right way every single day. And then knowing that when you fuck up, it's okay. It's all right. You pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep on marching, because you're not going to get out of this alive. So you better make every, day count to the fullest. It's like, you just focus on yourself, bring a good group of friends around, socialize, smile more, don't be stressed out about bills. Know it's all going to be fine. You know, if you really think that there's an evil fucking, like, you know, overlords that are trying to enslave us, the biggest fuck you to them that you could ever do is just be happy. And that's the biggest fuck you can do to anything. Just be happy. And I don't mean like post pictures of yourself on Instagram smiling in front of a sunset and call it happiness. Like, authentically be happy, and authentically be happy for other people, you know? Encourage people. Know that success is not, you know, it's not a limited resource. Success is available to anybody who wants success. So if you can help others gain success and help others gain happiness and help encourage other people, like, that is going to make your life so much better, you know, and not focus on just how you can get ahead. Just, it's like, I was listening to a podcast a couple weeks ago, and I heard, you know, in the podcast, somebody had mentioned, you know, like, basically take advantage of people that are lower than you, because I don't even like to say it because it's so fucked up, but it's like, you know, play on your own level playing field, and if there's people below you, take advantage of them, because there's a reason why they're below you, and the people above you are going to take advantage of you. So just don't even play the game with them, just play the game with the people lower than you, so that you can, you know, gain more off of them, basically. And God, that is some old school mindset, dude. Like, that is just such an old ass way of thinking. That's like 1930s, you know? And in this day and age, dude, with the internet, and success is so easy now. If you want to, you can aim for the stars, and then you can bring everybody up with you. I mean, just help everyone that you can, as long as you're taken care of first, you know? Don't just be taking care of everybody else and not taking care of yourself. You got to take care of yourself first, but take care of yourself first, and then encourage all of your friends. If you have the extra ability to help them gain more success and it's not going to hinder you, do it. You know, if you have an extra $1,000 and they need $1,000 to start a business up, fucking give them $1,000. Help them start a business. You know, put your name on it with them. Like, encourage that kind of growth. Encourage self-accomplishment. Because if you can get your surroundings motivated and help them, and, you know, not have famine thinking, if you can just realize that everybody can win, that'll spread outward. You know, it's not hard. It's really easy. So, this is just some of my fucking rambling thoughts that I had today. And so I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I'm gonna close it up. I still have a lot of shit to do tonight, and it's like 10 o'clock. So I'm gonna close this up. And if you want to write me an email, it's mindmeltpodcast@gmail.com. You know, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. I'm really excited about the guests that we're gonna have coming up. And, you know, just breathe and enjoy your life. Don't get overwhelmed. Take every day at a time. It's like eating an elephant, one bite at a time, baby. All right. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will be back probably this weekend at some point with my homie Courtney Miller. All right. Peace out.